Hey, what's up, YouTube? We're back with another New World video. Today, we have a very exciting thing to cover over New World. We just recently got the roadmap for the next 6 months, I think it's safe to say. Half a year. A lot of crazy stuff that we all were hoping for is coming to New World. First, real quick, though, they did say that April would be another bug-fixing month. So we are not getting anything new after the Tempest Heart Expedition and the Blunderbuss. Those seem to be like March's big thing. And then April, we're going to get another round of patches of bugs and quality of life updates. I don't think, did they tease anything like what the quality of life updates would be, or they just basically said that that's what April would be again?
I didn't see anything in particular. They just said, yeah, quality of life, bug fixes, all that. Yeah, I also learned what spring, summer, and autumn the dates were. I didn't realize before this. So earlier on, I was googling when does spring actually end. So it's 21st of June is spring, so it can go all the way up until that particular day. So I didn't realize before this.
Real? I mean, like, you think they have it that clocked out to where we got to get all this content out by for June 21st?
Yeah, so June 21st is the end of spring. So I was obviously super excited about what's coming out in the spring update. But I was like, okay, we've still got potentially a couple of months here, so
yeah,
it's not going to be happening tomorrow.
Well, the way things are going, I think with the 3v3 PvP arenas and the reward track should be out in May, I would think, right? Because they can't. Their patches have been like on the last day of the month. So if they're going to do the last day of June, it won't be in spring. It'll be summer, and they'll have to they'll have to change this around a little bit. Bordy, kind of, this is the big announcement that I thought, like, one thing that we've been looking forward to or wanting them to add to New World for a long time. 3v3 PvP arenas are here, dude. Talk a little bit more about them.
Yeah, man, I know I, for one, am incredibly excited about 3v3 PvP arenas. This is something I'm going to live in probably. Whenever these go live, I'll probably be there a lot. And then especially whenever they add like the reward track. And then I would imagine at some point we'll get ranked arenas. They haven't said a whole lot about how the arenas are going to work, like if we're going to get preset loadouts or if we're going to go in there with the gear that we've grinded out or whatever. I don't know what approach they're going to take. I don't know how competitive it's going to be in the beginning. I don't know if it's going to be just casual MMR or ranked MMR or what all is going to be included in the arenas, but I'm excited to see what happens and how that evolves. I would imagine at some point in the future, we'll get like some sort of competitive ranked 3v3 arenas, which I think will be absolutely enormous for the game. And that may happen in the spring on launch. I don't know. But I agree with you, Red. I think in May is probably when we're going to get this. I think March, Tempest Heart, new Blunderbuss, obviously we're getting that along with a ton of quality of life fixes in March, which is incredibly exciting. And then in April, bug fixes, etc. I would assume in May we'll probably get the 3v3 arenas and PvP reward track. That is my guess, and I'm here for it. Man, 3v3 PvP arenas, we're getting them way sooner than I thought too. I didn't think this would happen until like towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and I think some of the big questions looming right now is how is the queue system going to be working? Can you queue solo? Are you going to need to bring in a team of 3? A lot of those things still need to be answered, but we're getting PvP arenas and a reward track, which I think is pretty cool, dude. Maybe like some sort of like seasonal PvP thing where maybe you as many wins or points or badges or whatever they have you accumulate, the more rewards you have access to. Potentially, PvP gear, legendary gear would be sick, I think. If having gear sets for PvP for particular types of weapons would be awesome if you can get those in these rewards. Or, what are we looking at, boys? Cosmetic stuff, even, I think would be cool. Like, have some sort of, like, I know World of Warcraft does it well when you have the gladiator sets, right? And then at the end of the season, if you get gladiator rank, you get the mount, too. Things like that to show, like, the flex that, like, yo, I was, like, in the top 50 people on my server in PvP this season, I think would be dope. Danny, what do you think about like some, set bonuses and potential cosmetic rewards for this PvP reward track?
I was just going to be rude. I was going to say that half of our EU servers don't even have 50 people yet.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
so I was being mean. I was just being mean.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think cosmetics wise, I was looking through, I was in a war a couple of days ago. I was like, all right, I want to wear some cool armor, and there isn't really any cool armor for someone wielding a mega great axe or a hammer at the moment. You're kind of limited, so it'd be really cool to see, some more PvP focused cosmetics, actual gear itself. I think on the dev video they were saying there are the reward track's going to be, of course, focused on PvP, but there's going to be some really good rewards in there for PvP focused players. So pretty exciting. Obviously, we don't know too much yet, but it's really exciting. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And to Bordy's point, leadership seemed to be a little bit off. Our leaderboards or ranking system seems to be a little bit off. We'll talk a little bit more about that soon. But next, Danny, I'll let you lead the way because, dude, this is pirate-themed expedition, dude. In the summer, we're getting barnacles and black powder expedition, which seems to be a lost-themed expedition if we're, like, I guess, grasping at straws here, but I don't think it's very far off. And then we got the expedition group finder, which is exciting, a good way to find people to complete expeditions outside from just spamming recruitment and global chat. Now and then we have the summer event. Obviously, it's interesting because they haven't had an event for a long time. So they have summer event, Nightfall Hallow, which hopefully is the Halloween event we thought we would get when we got those cosmetics. Then they have Turkalon, and then the Christmas or the winter themed event. But there's nothing. I would assume maybe we might just have missed like a spring because of the bug updates. We missed an event during the spring. Maybe they'll double back and get a spring event next year. But at least we are getting more events, right? Like the Winter's Festival. So I guess there's a lot to break down here for the summer thing. Danny, why don't you start with the new Lost Expedition, Barnacles and Black Powder?
Yeah, of course. I'm not typically excited at the moment by expeditions. I really enjoyed running Tempest Heart, and then the others. I haven't really done them. I kind of sit my butt in OPR and just enjoy playing that. But of course, this has got me excited. Of course, I love anything pirate. But the artwork looks amazing. That pirate looks extremely badass. So I hope we get to meet him. I hope he's got some cool mechanics. I hope this is kind of the beginning of greatness coming into New World PvE. Tempest Heart Expedition, there's parts of it where I think, they've kind of been a little bit lazy here, but it is a start of new mechanics, new bosses, new things, and it's starting to look awesome. So if they can continue that with the Barnacles and Black Powder Expedition, it's just setting the path for the future. So this will be sweet, and he looks insane. He looks super cool. I had a little giggle there because you brought up Turkulon again, and I've been I don't know. When I want big open world events like the Turkulon one, I was expecting something like this pirate, something extremely badass, and I'm glad that it's coming to the game. So that's super cool. And I guess the expedition group finder going hand in hand with this. It's kind of a little bit nervous because it would need to be done right. It's one of these things that it'll be such a big part of the game that if it's released and it's all a bit, I don't know, iffy, doesn't really work, it's all very buggy and things, it would be kind of detrimental. But if they release it and it's just wonderful and it just works, it'll be amazing. And with the the discussions around them removing the orbs for entry and making orbs kind of a bonus, this would work. This is going to be great. And of course, this isn't cross server yet. Scott did mention that in the future we're looking at cross server expeditions and people and all that sort of stuff. So it is based on the server. And I was joking around about the server pops and stuff. But in the future, it's all starting to it's building on the core that we all still like about the game. So I'm super excited. And there's a little stage there, some stuff going on in the summer. So it's all looking cool. The summer's looking wicked. Yeah, excited, very very excited.
So some of the points you brought up that I think are interesting that we haven't covered yet are the cross server plans. I would say it would be regional queuing. They said that the tech is difficult, that it would take some time to put together, but obviously at this point, with the servers being the way that you said they were, that sort of activity or platform is needed. That way those people can stay on the low population servers and play New World more of a gathering game, and still have the opportunity to do hopefully expeditions and arenas and OPR and stuff. That would also keep the OPR queues flowing, because I worry, one of the things we didn't mention when the PvP arenas come out, what is OPR going to look like at that point with people being able to queue up for 3v3 arenas as well. But they just put this on the PTR, which was the Tempest Heart mutation. So then that I assume at that point, Tempest Heart with the other 3 mutations that are available will be in rotation, right? So Tempest Heart will be added to that. So I would assume when Black Barnacles and Black Powder Expeditions come out, that will be added too, a mutation for that one too. Do you guys think, and I'll point this at Bordy, do you guys think that this point in the summer with the Expedition Group Finder, that will maybe potentially get the rest of the mutations? Because Scott did tease that as well. We still have some more expeditions and mutations that we still need to get out. So do you think summer is a good time for that with the Group Finder?
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be great to have those out. I have no idea when that's coming, though. I don't know that they really hinted a ton at that. Maybe hinted a little bit at that, but I do know back a couple dev vids ago, they talked about how it was hard to get Amrine and Starstone and the depths worked into those. But yeah, that would be awesome if they could add those to the rotation, because whenever you start to really break it down and you start to think about how many expeditions are actually in the game right now for in-game PvE, it's starting to shape up fairly nice. You have 3 in the game already. We're about to have Tempest Heart in the game after March. Then in summer, we'll have Barnacles and Black Powder. I know we haven't gotten there yet, but then in autumn, we're also getting another expedition. So there's going to be a lot of in-game expeditions. And then you throw the other ones on top of that as well. If they could manage to get the depths and Amrine and Starstone worked in there somehow before the end of this, really before the end of this year, man, you got a lot of in-game expeditions to go through for mutations, and I think that'd be awesome. I think at that point, hopefully, they'll add like multiple options to do per week for the mutations. Instead of just having one, maybe you could have like 2 or 3 running at the same time. That would be cool. I think there's an opportunity for them to do things like that. But all in all, like looking at the roadmap through the summer with Barnacles of Black Powder, the Expedition Group Finder, they're definitely on the right track and pushing into these things in the future. We got to remember the game's only been out for what, 5 months, 6 months or less. When it came out. Yeah. So it's still very much in its infancy for an MMO, and the future is looking better and better, in my opinion. And it's going to take a while. I'm going to be very interested, very excited to see where the game lands at the end of this year, and then see what the roadmap is moving forward, because I think there could be some really good things in store now.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I'm going to make a little bit of a prediction here. I don't mind stepping out. I know, Bordy, you're extremely conservative. I'm not. I'm going to say right now, I think that the orbs will be in place. But you can go and get more rewards. I think you'll have to find your own group to run an orb with. But I think the Expedition Group Finder will help you potentially just run them the basic levels of these or the mutations without the orbs, the added loot. I think you'll have to go through the Group Finder. I do think that we're going to see the follow up on these mutations for the current dungeons. Like Bordy said, I think there's probably some scaling issues, and that makes sense. Because Dynasty right now seems a lot harder than the other 2 in-game expeditions mutations go. So I think maybe there's some scaling issues that they have to work out. Same with the expedition technology to make sure you can queue across servers. So hopefully they'll get those 2 things figured out, because I think it adds a lot to the game and then does bring some life to those servers that have low population, because at least they have some activities to do. I think potentially, Bordy, we just transferred servers to Ohono, a more populated server, obviously, than the one we were on prior. But I think there would have been a chance if some of this technology was out where we could queue across servers for OPR, that we might have stayed on Eden, to be honest. And because we like the landscape of wars and stuff and being able to be in expeditions and stuff there consistently. But the OPR thing was a tough pill to swallow. So I think this tech could help bring some life to those smaller servers and maybe even out the population a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, all right, so let's move right in here to autumn. Autumn is the time, boys. I think autumn potentially is like the expansion time, because you look at the list here, and you're starting to see some pretty big boy features being added to the game. We got Brimstone Sands territory, the biggest territory to ever be added to New World is coming then. A lot of speculation on what some of the features of that zone will be. You have the Enid expedition, the new weapon, a great sword, boys. I know you guys are bruisers, so you would. I'm excited to see what your take is on the great sword. leaderboards, and they said PvP and PvE. So we're going to get some expedition, maybe some mutation point ranks, some timed events in PvE, and then obviously the PvP arena leadership boards. Night Vale Hollow event, dude. I love a good Halloween event. I'm a warlock at heart, so I love this sort of aesthetic. And then we got Turkalon 2022, which is assumingly another giant turkey running around the map. This is, I mean, I don't know. What's funny is I just, that drop, the turkey leg drop was like one of the items that got duped like a bunch during this duping fiasco. And so every time I'm in chat, everybody's like, did you buy some turkey legs? I'm like, no, dude, I didn't buy turkey legs, because I do luck runs a lot on my stream. So yeah, it's just funny because seeing Turkle on here, it's like, it just reminds me of killing that giant turkey and getting the turkey leg drop and everything like that. So I'm excited, obviously, about that as well. So here we go, guys. This is the big one here, and this is one that I think a lot of it's been data mined for a long time, but we're finally gonna get Brimstone Sands in August. So Danny, let's hear what you have to think about the new territory coming in autumn.
I was just doing a quick Google. We saw some Brimstone Sands back on the 4th of August, 2021, maybe slightly before then as well. Yeah. So people broke out the map. I don't know if you remember. People broke out the map and they got into Brimstone Sands, and we saw kind of the bare bones of it. And to be honest, I'm super excited for this. I don't know if they'll. You mentioned there about potentially being an expansion. I have no idea. It'd be kind of interesting if they do release this kind of content as like a bolt on to as like a full sort of release, as it were, or they just kind of bring it out as another big patch. But Brimstone Sands, new mobs, hopefully new mechanics on the mobs. Just it's like this is I think Brimstone Sands is like the place to bring it all back, and anyone who's doubted the game or has called it a dead game or just given it some abuse over the last few months, I think Brimstone Sands at the end of this year is the time where New World can win back those players that are kind of on the edge of the seat about playing it or not. So if everything else gets fixed before then and Brimstone Sands comes out and it's just truly glorious, I think that's the moment people will really turn around and be like, okay, New World is absolutely fire. I am playing this. So I'm super excited for this. Of course, everything else come with it, but Brimstone Sands, mega excited.
Yeah, one of the things I think is challenging in the current landscape of MMOs is pulling people's attention away from the current games they're playing. And big expansions like this are how you do it. Obviously, there could be some features. This is a pretty generalized world map, right? So I think there's a lot of features that we don't know about that might potentially still be coming to the game. But it is cool to see that we're going to finally get that big feature that I think a lot of people are waiting for. A great sword, a new expedition, Brimstone Sands, leaderboards, which I honestly think if I had to put my money on something that's going to bring people back to the game in droves, I do think that it's going to be a PvP or a leaderboard or a PvP ranking system, because that is something we talked a little bit about the show about this. That is something that people strive to compete and kind of improve their skills and play the game in that level, or that sort of ranking system, similar to like Overwatch or Valorant or League of Legends. Some way to kind of show that you're improving at the game through a player ranking system or a peer ranking system. Hopefully at that point they'll have the cross like server or at least region thing that would kind of allow you to compare to people on different servers. But Bordy, what do you think about, again, the new area? Along with the leaderboards, the greatsword. I got to get your guys' opinion on that. I know you guys are. It was cool to hear Scott talk about the greatsword because it has some pretty insane abilities. I really hope that it doesn't turn all of everybody into Thorps, the mobs up in Shattered Mountain, because if that happens, dude, I think we might have a new meta of just greatswords running around blowing people up in PvP. So Bordy, start with the new territory, and then end on the great sword, dude. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the new territory is amazing. We have seen a glimpse of it before, and I think it's going to be awesome. It's been in the works for a really long time, so I'm expecting really big things. It's going to be interesting to see if like Brimstone Sands is a territory we can take at that point, or how territory control even works once we get to that point. Because I think there's going to be changes to the overall gameplay that they're going to add in terms of quality of life, et cetera, that isn't on this roadmap. And I think potentially by then, territory control could be a little bit different, I think, because they have hinted at making some changes to that. So it will be interesting to see like how that plays out. I, for one, would not mind at all having like a very large like city in the game, like a very large, robust, like city type of vibe in the game somewhere. And I think maybe in Brimstone Sands that could fit versus just like a little settlement. I think that would be really, really cool. Just my personal opinion, I would like to see something like that come into the game. But overall, Brimstone Sands having a new territory in the game would be the first new territory we've seen since the game has launched. I think that's an absolutely huge deal. That's going to obviously come with new quests and a new expedition, as we see here, the Eniad expedition, or however you say that. I think will be awesome. He did mention new mob types that are coming in for the Brimstone Sands. So I think at that point we're going to get a lot of new flavor added to the game, which I think is fantastic. And then the Great Sword, I think without a doubt, we'll see a new meta come in as soon as the Great Sword launches, just like we're going to see a new meta whenever the Blunderbuss launches. Everybody's going to be using Blunderbuss. Everybody's going to be using Great Sword whenever it comes out. And it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how the Great Sword plays in and fits into the meta. And then what's going to be even more interesting is as they continue to add all these new weapons to the game, how the overall meta is going to shake out. Because I think the builds and the diversity becomes greater, and it becomes a little bit more fun with build diversity and build variety. Everybody maybe not running the same cookie cutter stuff all the time. I think that'll be really good whenever there's a ton of variety in the game. So I'm excited for it, man. And leaderboards obviously is like, in my mind, same as yours, Red, one of the biggest things that's going to come into the game, because I think things like that, those are the things that do keep people logging in on a regular basis, and not just logging in, but playing a lot on a regular basis, because the competitive spirit in people really want, you want to push up, you want to see yourself at the top of the leaderboard. And I think that adding that along with the PvP arenas that are coming very soon, then you have the leaderboards that are getting added towards the end of the year. I think that's the point at which people are just going to start coming back. And then all the bug fixes, the quality of life stuff that's going to happen in between now and then that's already happening. And I think by the end of this year, we're looking pretty good, man.
Yes, the event's obviously a big part in keeping people logging in as well. Like you had mentioned, just having reasons for people to get in the game, to better themselves on the leaderboards, to grind out event tokens. I mean, dude, I love that type of gameplay when you're caught up in the game, but you have some seasonal event to kind of grind out and get cosmetics and stuff like that. So those are going to add some big things to the game as well. Brimstone Sands, obviously a massive update. I agree. I would like to see some sort of hub, maybe not so much centered around like territory control. Maybe they can keep it at a capital. It would be an interesting thing, Bordy, because Danny, because that way, you don't have to worry about keeping the territories crafting systems updated. They can provide some sort of discount for the people that own the territory or something, but have some sort of hub where people can craft, even though there's not enough people on the server to keep up the capitals and stuff like that. I think would be interesting as well. And then obviously, dude, I'm looking for more company support in that expansion too. I don't know why I continue to think about that, but Brimstone Sands has an opportunity to find company housing or company banking or something like that can help support companies, because companies are such a large part of the game. I'd like to see, with that new territory, maybe that capital city that has like the company support that we've been looking for in the game as well. All right, guys. Well, can you guys think of anything else you want to talk about in this video? I know we planned on doing a 5-minute video, and it's now a 25-minute video. So
so good.
Blame Danny for the most part, just because we can. Danny, you got anything to say?
No, blame me. Blame that. Blame that. I'll just very quickly, I guess, on the leaderboards. We've been talking about it, and it leads on to what you're saying about the company. The company kind of quality of life stuff. We would love to see. I would love to see kind of in company kind of leaderboards. Silly things like how many fish have been caught, how many logs have been chopped, how many trees have been chopped, and things like
That would
that,
be kind of
along
fun.
with kind of
Yeah. Maybe just across
fun.
the game, like you guys cut down the most trees. I
Just
think that would
fun,
be
silly
hilarious
things.
to have. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be funny.
Yeah, everything's it's not serious, but everything's very serious at the moment. It's all about who's got the top gear, who's got this, who's got that. And it would be nice to see some kind of more fun elements kind of come into the game. Silly little things like that. Not like Turkulon. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Turkulon, but
giant turkey. Well, he's not a fan of you either, so
fair enough. But yeah, no, I think all these changes are awesome, and yeah, it's definitely been good chatting about it, and I'm super excited to see what really comes of all of this.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. I'm just happy they got this out. This can inspire people or motivate people to grind out the game during slow times, is having a roadmap to look forward to, knowing that, and this has already started within our company, and I'm sure a lot of other companies is like, we got to start getting our PvP sets in order. We got to start practicing with our 3-man teams, because before you know it, we'll be hashing this out in the arena against other people on the server, and probably within the company too. That'll be fun to kind of have 3v3 teams within the company that kind of compete in the arenas together too. So yeah, and then that's already just in May, we assume. So yeah, that to me is going to keep me logging in, keep me grinding out gear, rolling gear, and doing the Gamba stuff to try to get an elite PvP set. And then watch, they'll turn off gear, and then I'll be extremely sad. But I just can't see them doing that. I can't. It's an MMO, and typically in MMOs, gear matters. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, we will see. But yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great evening, night, day, whatever time this is that you're watching this. And don't forget to hit the subscription button. Again, we have an announcement video tomorrow. I don't know when this video is coming out, to be honest. It may have already happened, but look for a new trailer on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of cool and interesting stuff to announce to you guys that's coming up in Studio Loot. And again, we're just very appreciative from you all. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you in the next video.